I'm going to need the largest cup of coffee to talk about this. What was CG thinking exactly?
Scraps here, so give it up.
My dead body.
In case you've been living under a rock, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a new Sith fleet just arrived yesterday in the form of the Leviathan. We've all been building up to it. It's been the most heavily invested capital ship in the entire game. Heavier than many, many farms that exist. You needed 2 Relic 9s, you needed 5 Relic 7s, and you needed 2 Relic 5s in order to unlock this ship. And if you want to take it to 7 stars, it's going to cost you an extra 25,600 crystals, give or take, in order to accomplish that on the very first release. Now, a lot of people had invested in that under the assumption that this new ship was going to be the new king of fleet battles, was going to be something that would surpass the Executor and the Profundity, and from the public outrage and from my own personal testing, it is simply not the case. It is a fundamentally broken fleet that just is not fun to enjoy or engage with. It's being beaten by every single fleet in the game. Even the Endurance with the Galactic Republic fleet that you typically use with the Negotiator is beating it. Holdo is beating it. Finalizer is beating it. Malevolence, Executor, Profundity, everything beats this ship on defense. Supposedly the greatest ship, the greatest fleet, the best, the meta, the thing that we've put away side farms for, the things that we've given up developing our raid teams, giving up chasing Galactic Legend Layer, giving up Jedi Knight Cal, giving up progression in TB in order to get this new fleet. It is awful. And it's not even fun to play. I don't understand why CG thought this fleet was going to be something that was good. It has no damage at all. It's anemic. Can it beat things like Executor and Profundity? Yes. Is it enjoyable? No. Is it good banners? No. Does it fall? Yes, of course it does. And I know it's early days and the ship's just come out and it is likely going to get buffed, but it's not the point. It shouldn't be this bad at release. When Executor came out, it was destroying the meta at 4 stars. When Profundity came out, it was destroying the Executor at 4 stars. Yes, they still needed a bit of work, but when they first came out, at least the fleet was usable, and usable at low stars. The Leviathan is not. It's not, because of how they've locked away the abilities and tied it to, essentially, the 7-star abilities, okay? So let's just take a look here. Take a look here. Part of the problem is this. At the top tier, the final abilities, which can only be used at 7 stars, that's where you get your Ferocity, which is where the damage is, because those of you that don't know, Ferocity is Darth Revan's ability to essentially sacrifice defense for additional speed and offense. Each stack of Ferocity, I think, gives 8% offense and speed, but decreases your defense. So the fact that we are missing it from here, 5 stacks of Ferocity over there, that is a lot of additional offense and a lot of additional speed. And the fact that we cannot disrupt and interrupt the enemy's reinforcement until you get to 7 star means you've got no damage and you get overwhelmed very quickly. Now, when you hit your ultimate, whilst it is cool, it's nice to see, the problem with it in its current format is against Executor, you often can't ultimate quickly enough. The enemy capital ship is going to ultimate on you and it turns into a right slogfest, which begs the question, why am I going to take my Leviathan against the Executor? You simply cannot get the debuffs that you need in order to hit this ultimate and hit your specials quickly enough. You can't interrupt their reinforcements at all. So you end up just wailing against the wall and hoping you hit your first reinforcement and your second reinforcement and somehow win. And against the Profundity, unless you can get out your second reinforcement with the Interceptor and destroy the enemy's Rebel Y-Wing, you can't kill their tanks because there is no damage. Now, I've come up with a temporary solution that can help me against these ships, but the stupid thing is, it's using the Phantom 2. The Phantom 2, so I can reduce my reinforcement cooldowns, so that I can then come in and reinforce with the Interceptor a turn faster, so that I can then destroy one of their ships. It's ridiculous that this new fleet is already taking away from other fleets, and you're already better off. Like, I didn't mean to click that one. Like, the Scimitar is fine and everything. It's not great. It has its purpose in keeping your Extinction class bomber alive, but it's not an ideal ship. It's not an ideal ship at all. In fact, you're better off going in with the Imperial TIE bomber when you're facing off against profundities, just to make it that much easier to kill. It is ridiculous that this is the situation we find ourselves in. You've either gone to 7-star and you've gotten yourself a fleet that, yes, can beat Profundity and can beat Executor on full auto, apparently, if you happen to get particularly lucky, and beat the current meta. But defensively, the AI is dumb. Defensively, it gets beat by literally everything. What was the point in them giving us a ship that is just going to get wrecked? This tenacity up stops us getting debuffs on the enemy team, so we can't actually hurt the enemy team. We can't start getting those debuffs out there and triggering the thresholds for debuffs we need in order to hit our first special. Can't use this straight away, okay? So sure, yeah, I can use this, but look at this. All right, this gives me, what does it give me? Breach immunity? Yeah, breach immunity for 3 turns. We're already breached. Got no means of dispelling this. I'm already, what good is me having breach immunity over here? I could do it, or I could put it over here. Great, okay, so maybe they don't target my Fury class interceptor and we can't get breached over there. There's no point in me casting out these mines because they're resistible. There's tenacity down for tenacity up for 2 turns, so I can't use my specials. I could use this special over here, but I'm not going to land any of the debuffs here because look, we need 5+ allies to attack. So it's just like, yeah, we could get suspense. Who cares? Who cares? We might as well try and stay alive. You know, that suspense isn't going to deal enough to the enemy team to do something. So now we can finally, after everybody's taken 2 turns, we can finally get some debuffs out on the field. This is where I change things up. I reinforce with the Phantom. We'll get target lock out there for some reason. The Phantom literally does nothing now at this point, and if he reinforces with Slave 1, you better hope that he doesn't start hitting his payout for the Razor Crest incredibly quickly. Now we can actually start using this mass assist and getting some debuffs on there, which is useful. We didn't get many, but we got some, and they've already hit their contract for the Razor Crest, so now I can reinforce. I can reinforce now and bring in this thing, and yeah, sure, we could destroy this, or we could destroy this. But they're getting all their target locks out of the gate, which means they're going to hit ultimate incredibly quickly. Let's go after Cad Bane right now. Let's put out some thermals. It's like, it shouldn't feel this awkward. I know my ship is only 6-star, but it shouldn't feel this awkward. Immediately loses a ship because this thing doesn't taunt enough. The BTLB Y-Wing doesn't taunt enough. We've lost 2 more ships. Like, this is supposed to be the new meta. What is meta about this? I guess it dodge as well. What is meta about this? We've got a tank that won't taunt, essentially, and we lose out on the ultimate race. Amazing. Like, this is great. This is great. Is this what people wanted? And I know people are probably going to come up to me in the chat and say I've played this wrong or I've done something wrong. That's okay. I'm willing to accept that. But we should be getting a fleet that we go out there, we send it out, and it just wins. That's what this was sold to us as. That's how they've described this as. And currently, as it is right now, it is failing miserably at that. In the current setup, in Kyber, okay, having 3 fleets on defense, if you were to place Leviathan, Executor, and Profundity on defense, it can still get one-shot by an opponent's team without using any one of Leviathan, Profundity, and Executor. Somebody can hard counter the 3 best ships in the game, the 3 best capital ships in the game, without using the 3 best capital ships in the game. This is not a good means of progression. Why should any of us be trying to invest in these really high-level investment ships if they are not moving the needle? There has to be some form of progression, and I'm not saying that the Leviathan needs to be a ship that is going to stonewall defenses, but I would expect it to perform better than the current meta, especially given how much the relic investment is for this. It should be able to go there. If you put Leviathan on defense and your opponent does not also have Leviathan on defense, it should be a case of there is an like a 50% chance that they are going to drop using whatever counter they have. It should be almost guaranteed a 2-tap to give that person an advantage for having that fleet, for having that sacrifice made to their account. I'm not talking about giving a benefit to whales. I'm talking about rewarding players for the investment that they make. There are sacrifices that everybody had to make in order to get this new shiny ship under the assumption that it was actually bloody good. And it's not. It's awful. It's awful. It's anemic in damage. It gets wrecked on defense. And it just looks so cool. That's the annoying thing. Like, the animation's really cool. The fact that you can blow up the enemy's capital ship, yes, it's bugged, but it's hilarious. Okay? Like, I don't understand at what point did CG do testing on this ship and thought, you know what, that's in a really good place. This is reflective of how we described it. We told them it was going to surpass the Executor in profundity. We told it was going to be the new king of Fleet Arena. This feels good. This feels good. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't. Like, I hate being sat there in Fleet Arena, having got off my ultimate, taken control of an enemy's capital ship, which now basically just gives me a turn with a capital ship with useless abilities. Yes, don't get me wrong, it stops the opponent from using it, which is the real benefit, right? It takes away it from the opponent. But the benefits to you for using that are basically zero, and you're left with a capital ship that just uses a basic. Don't get me wrong. The basic from the Leviathan is very powerful once it has a hit ultimate, because it's got an irresistible fear on that basic, right? An irresistible fear which dispels. So, you know, you're in a good position when you get to this point, right? So it's fine. But the problem is it's boring, guys. It's boring to sit there with 3 ships on your side. You've taken control of an enemy capital ship that does nothing to you. You've got your own capital ship that can only basic, and your ships are just tickling the enemy's ships to death, hoping that you don't time out against a profundity, or you don't already lose because you can't hit your capital ship's ultimate in time against an Executor. And that's just the offensive capabilities. When it comes to defense, who wants a capital ship that does not hold against anything? There are reports of people going in with 7-star profundities against a 7-star Leviathan, winning without using reinforcements with full HP and protection. Why bother with this Leviathan? Why bother? You might as well not have it. Until CG put 4 fleets on defense, and even then, it would still be my last choice of a ship to use. I am so incredibly baffled and disappointed with this result. CG has to do something here. My recommendation, change up the Interceptor and how it works. Okay, completely fundamentally change up how the Interceptor works. I know I just changed screens, but we're going to go back again because I feel like this is the biggest issue, and I posted it on the forums as well. Make sure you go over to the forums and check out the recent posts around the Leviathan and how it's performing. But they need to change up the Interceptor. This reinforcement ability, gain 5 stacks of swarm, sure. If the capital ship is Empire, yada yada. All they need to do is add, if the capital ship is Leviathan, when this ship reinforces, it gets 50 stacks of devouring swarm, can only use its basic, and it ignores taunt and stealth. That's all they need to do. That way, and then they need to change the reinforcement priority to make this Interceptor the #1 priority reinforcement. That way, when you get to reinforcement, the ship will always get called, it will always use its basic, and it will always ignore taunt and stealth. So it will always insta-kill 1 unit. Think of it like JMK Cat in Squad Arena. That's how it should be. You know, you go into the battle, JMK puts his damage immunity, cooldown resets on Cat, Cat immediately kills 1 unit. That's how this should operate. It should be, you get to your first reinforcement, you call in the Interceptor, you insta-kill a unit. It gives you that advantage so you do not get overwhelmed. Even then, I think there are things fundamentally wrong with the fleet because it will still be a boring fleet to play as because you've got no damage. I know maybe the damage ups a little bit when you go to 7-star and you start getting that ferocity, but it needs to change. It needs to change, guys, and I recommend everybody go into the forums and start filing complaints or start moaning to CG. We need to get something done. Help a brother out here, guys. Help a brother out. Let me know your thoughts on the Leviathan. How are you finding it? if you've got it. What have you used against it when you see it on defense? I know that this was a rant, and I do not like to rant normally, guys, but this has just, like, blown my mind after all the hype. Peace out, guys. May the force be with you.